Yo, it's MartydudeVR, and today we guys are talking about Arken Age for the PSVR2. So right off the bat, I have to say this is one of the most unique VR experiences that I've had in like years. Like, oh my God. And I know most of you guys are here for this, and this is a PSVR2 review, so I'm gonna go ahead and say it. The performance for this game is amazing, and it has two graphic modes. So you have a 90 FPS native low resolution mode, which runs perfectly. I haven't had a single frame drop stutter or anything. And you also have a 60 FPS, which is reprojected to 120. Like, I don't like reprojection, it makes me motion sick, so I wasn't too fond of that. What is it, a higher resolution? But personally for me, 90 FPS at a lower resolution, the game still looks great. Before we get into it, make sure you check out VRrock.com and get you some prescription lenses for your PSVR2. They're the best prescription lenses out that I personally have used, and I always recommend them to people with PSVR2s because having glasses in VR, you can scratch your lenses and do a bunch of other weird stuff. It's got some prescription lenses. It's gonna save you a lot of money in the long run. And I even got a discount code for your MartydudeVR, and you get 10% off your purchase. So it's already pretty cheap, and now it's even cheaper. So help me help you save some money. But back to the game, oh my God, it's amazing. And the reason it's amazing is because it reminds me of a old PC VR game that I'm 90% sure a lot of you guys haven't heard about, and it's called Stormland. So Respawn actually made a VR game for Meta years ago, and it's still one of like the coolest VR games of all time. And it mastered exploration, combat, and just overall being a unique game to the point where I haven't found a game that's come close to give me that same feeling that Stormland gave me. And Arken Age legit hit that spot for me. So I played about 2 hours of the game, and I must say, you literally can do everything in this game. You can run, climb, swim, do melee, shoot weapons. It quite literally has every VR mechanic you can think of jam-packed into one product. So for story, the game is set in a place called the Biochasm. The Biochasm is real kind of tree-like, kind of futuristic, tech-infused like place. And you basically have to stop an invasion by the Hyperion forces. So it's really cool. And it's actually nice to be an alien in the game, like an actual alien. So it's kind of weird seeing your hand have like 3 fingers, but you get used to it pretty cool. And it's also really cool because you're kind of like this like weird like alien robot like fusion hybrid thing. And it makes for some really interesting kind of just like looks when you look down at your body. You're kind of like, what the hell? But I'm not gonna lie, it's a really unique design for an alien. So after you get your task from the Great Arborist, who looks really scary in VR, and I was really creeped out when he popped up, but you get your task and you basically have to go on this adventure going through different areas using physics-based combat, weapons, and a bunch of other different things to defeat enemies. I think what's amazing about Arken Age is legit the combat. So the combat has everything you need to make a fun VR game. So if you want to go in with just a sword and a shield, you can do that. And you can take down a lot of enemies that way, and blocking with the shield feels great on PSVR 2 because you got the haptics and it's real nice. Now, is it like Blade and Sorcery level physics combat? No, it's not. But is it good? Yes, it's great. And it's actually difficult. I actually had a hard time fighting off multiple enemies. My only critique of the combat is I wish it felt a little bit more weighty and a little bit more, I guess, piercing. I would say piercing when it comes to actually slashing enemies and seeing them take hits, stuff like that, because the enemies can feel real meat shieldy. So I would kind of like that tweaked a little bit, but that's just personal preference. Some of you guys are probably gonna love how the combat is based. But just in terms of just fighting enemies, it's mad satisfying. Like cutting off an enemy's arm or leg or head is really fun. And you can even stab enemies and it actually works. That is an underrated feature in a lot of VR games because I feel like the stab doesn't work good in a lot of games. But even for Arken Age, when you actually stab an enemy, it legitimately works. So I really do appreciate that. In terms of the guns, I like the guns. I feel like I wish they had a little bit more oomph to them. But in terms of just pure using them, it's really fun and really good arcade style. What I also like about the guns is that you can reload them using multiple ways. So I love games that give you options on how you can, manipulate the weapons and stuff like that. So let's say you're using a pistol, right? You could just choose to reload it the regular way, pull out from behind and put into the gun, or you can just put the gun behind your back and it will automatically put the ammo in there. That is awesome. So I love that it gives you that choice, because when you're in combat using a shield, you can't put the shield down just to, you know, reload your weapon. You don't want to do that. So you just put it behind your back, boom, reload, flip it up, back to business. It's really smooth, and they actually think of different ways you can play without breaking that immersion or breaking your fun. In the beginning levels, you get a shotgun and a pistol, and they're both like really good. You can also upgrade them. You can even add custom paint jobs to them that you can create yourself, which I really like, because my gun looks really cool. I had to put the Marty Dude blue on it, and it looked amazing. I had so much fun customizing my weapon, choosing different colors, stuff like that. I think you guys will too. I even customized my sword, put the Marty blue on that too, and it looked great. So just to kind of sum it up so far, we got a physics-based combat, crafting, customization, swimming, running, jumping, and I haven't even mentioned the coolest part, or not even the coolest part, one of the coolest parts, and that is the climbing. I must say they have mastered climbing in this game. So this game does something I've never seen a VR game ever do. There might be a game that I just don't know about, but me personally, I played a lot of VR games, and this is the first game where you actually flick your wrist and your climbing apparatus comes out, right? So you flick your wrist, and then boom, you have a pick pretty much that you can use to climb on the trees. That is cool. That is cool, and I have a lot of respect for the devs, because thinking of different ways to do locomotion in VR, making it simpler, making it more fun, is always needed. So I had a bunch of fun climbing this game, because you can actually use momentum to climb. So if you want to just like pull on the ice pick and jump up, you can do that. So they really genuinely make being this like kind of robotic alien and feel like you're actually a robotic alien, and I love it. So I love the climbing in this game, and it feels great. You can even use the ice picks for combat. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can get off some cooler combos and stuff like that. Because the enemies, like I said, can be walls of meat, and it can be a little hard to kill them with the ice pick. But if you run out of weapons or ammo or something like that, you can definitely do that. So I'm always down for giving more choices to the player. Something I also want to give them credit for is an actually good menu. The menu in this game, it's like a big tablet you can even grab and manipulate, and you can just press buttons. So that's always great to have a lot of customization options in the menu, because being comfortable in VR is always a top priority for me. And I can recommend this for somebody who's a little bit newer to VR, because they have so many options for making you comfortable in VR. Like if you don't like the way the gun is tilted, you can lean it down or lean it up, whatever way you want it. And there's just a bunch of different ways that they put in the settings to make you comfortable. At first, I thought Arken Age is gonna be a little shaky because of all the delays and stuff like that. But I genuinely feel like they made a really interesting game that is really fun. I couldn't put more hours into it because I've been busy. I'm a dad, you know, holidays and stuff like that. But this is a good game. I genuinely feel like the few hours I played, I see myself finishing this 15-hour campaign, hopefully by the time the review comes out. But if not, I'll have something for you guys, or a stream or something that you guys can actually see the game the day it comes out. But honestly, I feel like this small studio genuinely made a spiritual successor to Stormland that might even be better than the original. While it might not be as flashy and as, you know, AAA as Stormland, it genuinely does improve on the main things that make VR great, which is the game mechanics. So if you're looking for a really fun, just all around juggernaut VR gaming experience, I just have to recommend Arken Age as of right now. Now, I do gotta finish the game. This is the first impressions. But man, I've had fun. I've had so much fun, especially just with how this game presents itself. It's unique. It actually makes you interested in what's going on. The crafting's good. The upgrading's cool. I actually want to explore around the maps and find stuff. It's good. It even reminds me of a Souls-like sometimes, because you can kind of absorb energy in your hand. It's just like real unique and cool, especially on PSVR2 with the haptics. And you can even find your and get your credits and stuff back. Something I didn't mention that I totally forgot to mention is the collectibles you get in this game are picked up in one of the smartest ways that I've seen. So a lot of times in these VR games, you got to pick up stuff individually. No, not in Arken Age. You just have to hold a button and scan your hand over the collectibles, and it automatically picks them up. Bro, do y'all realize how crazy that is? There's been so many games where they have all these small items you got to pick up, right? And you have to pick them up individually. I don't want to do that all the time, right? Because it slows you down, makes the gameplay slow, it's tedious. It's like, I don't really feel like collecting, you know, dropping down and getting all the stuff. No, the developers in this game said, you know what, hold that button, wipe your hand, and it automatically picks it up. Genius, absolutely genius. I love that feature. Even the healing system is immersive because there's different ways of doing it. So usually you get like a vial that you can make using some of these kind of weird fruit looking things you find around the map that look really awkward, but you can choose to just eat the fruit, or you can find a machine and use this really cool kind of flame gun and drop the orbs into this machine to make a healing vial. It's so alien, like it's so alien, it is great. Like, I genuinely love these kind of just weird VR games. Like, these are like my favorite games. And I know this isn't a crazy structured talk, and I'm really just kind of yapping at y'all, but I've just wanted to talk about this game, man. It's so cool. Like, I feel like the Biochasm is a really unique environment that makes you want to know what's going on in the world. There's not a lot of VR games I feel like really capture that essence of, oh, this is interesting for more than like 5 hours. This is interesting for more than 5 hours. And it's $40. The game is $40. And I genuinely feel like if they can keep up that amazement, keep the environments exciting for the rest of the game, I can see this really being worth that $40 investment. As somebody who's been playing games for years and VR games for years, I genuinely can tell that Arken Age it has a lot of love put into it. I put it like that. It has a lot of love put into it, and it legitimately shows with all the gameplay. To me personally, if somebody hates this game, I'll genuinely be surprised because there's so much to do. But I'm interested next week to see how you guys feel about it. But the game does release on January 16th, 10 a.m. EST for you guys on the Eastern time zone. If you're on CST, that's 9. But the game does release January 16th, so definitely look forward to this one, man. If you are looking for a PSVR2 game in January, you need to pick up Arken Age, I'm gonna be honest with you. But before we get out of here, guys, I do have to say thank you guys for the support. This is the first video this year. So we're starting off the year with some different content. We just hit 40,000 views on the catwalk, omnidirectional VR Treadmill review. I thank you guys so much for the support. And shout out to all the new people who have joined the channel, because I see you guys. We got a lot of content coming in 2025, and this is gonna be a good year for VR. I really feel it. Stick with me. Make sure you check out the live streams. We stream every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. CST. That being said, it's MartydudeVR, and remember, just dude with a VR headset. Peace.